Let's move on to the goblin shark. Imagine a predator whose jaw doesn't just bite. It launches forward like a spring-loaded trap. The goblin shark, often called a living fossil, has haunted the oceans for over 125 million years. Its pink, almost human-like skin comes from blood vessels visible through its flesh, giving it an eerie, otherworldly look. But the real horror lies in its jaw. When prey wanders too close, the jaws catapult outward nearly 3 inches, faster than the blink of an eye. Scientists have measured this strike at speeds of over 3.1 meters per second. Most people will never see one alive. They lurk in depths between 100 and 1,200 meters, in waters stretching from Japan to the Gulf of Mexico. Rare encounters, like a 2007 capture off Japan, have turned this shark into a viral legend. But here's the question: how many more remain unseen in the abyss? Some marine biologists speculate that their elastic jaws inspired designs in science fiction monsters. Yet, unlike Hollywood, the goblin shark is very real, patrolling silent trenches as if time itself forgot it. And if this is what evolution kept hidden for millions of years, what kind of ancient terror waits just beneath it in the deep? Next is the frilled shark. The frilled shark looks like something lifted straight from prehistory, and in a way, it is. Fossils tell us this species has existed for at least 80 million years, surviving the rise and fall of dinosaurs. Its body stretches up to 2 meters long, thin and eel-like, with 300 needle-sharp teeth arranged in rows like tiny hooks. Each tooth is perfect for snagging slippery squid, which make up about 60% of its diet. These sharks live in depths between 500 and 1,500 meters, places so dark that sunlight never touches. Because they surface only rarely, very few have been seen alive. One was filmed in 2007 off the coast of Japan, and it moved with a slow, serpentine wriggle, exactly how scientists believe ancient sea serpents may have swum. Its name comes from the 6 gill slits on each side of its neck, each lined with frilly edges, giving it a ruffled, almost dragon-like appearance. This creature's ability to thrive under immense pressure makes it one of the most resilient predators on Earth. If the goblin shark feels like a nightmare with teeth that shoot out, the frilled shark is the nightmare that never died, an ancient survivor still gliding silently through the blackness. Here comes the fangtooth fish. The fangtooth may only grow to about 16 centimeters long, smaller than a pencil case, but it carries some of the largest teeth in proportion to its body of any fish in the ocean. Its 2 bottom fangs are so oversized that special sockets in its skull are needed just to stop them from piercing its own brain. Imagine being so sharp-toothed that your head has to build storage space for them. These fish live at depths of 200 to 2,000 meters, in some of the coldest, most pressurized parts of the ocean. Scientists have recorded them surviving at pressures over 80 times stronger than what you feel at sea level. Despite their size, fangtooths are fierce predators. Their diet consists of smaller fish and squid, and they hunt by sensing vibrations in the water. Their eyesight is poor, so their entire survival strategy depends on sensing the movements of prey in pitch-black darkness. In aquariums, they've been known to live for months when carefully monitored, proving just how hardy they are. In fact, the fangtooth holds the record for being found at some of the greatest depths where fish have ever been caught alive. Compared to the frilled shark's ancient grace, the fangtooth is more like a relentless little bulldog of the deep, tiny but unstoppable, and armed with jaws that look far too big for its body. Now we dive into the anglerfish. Few creatures capture the imagination of the deep like the anglerfish. These monsters live at depths of 200 to 2,000 meters, where no sunlight reaches. Their most famous feature is the glowing lure, called an esca, that dangles from a spine on their head. Inside this lure live symbiotic bacteria that generate light, a process known as bioluminescence. Scientists believe each species of anglerfish has its own light signature, like a built-in fishing rod that tricks prey directly into its mouth. The females are the stars of this strange show. They grow up to 1 meter long, with giant heads and jaws filled with transparent needle-like teeth. Males, by contrast, are tiny, sometimes just a few centimeters, and their only purpose is reproduction. Once a male finds a female, he latches on permanently, fusing bloodstreams and eventually losing his eyes and organs until he's little more than a living sperm bank. Some females carry as many as 6 males fused to their body at once. Anglerfish first shocked the world when a specimen was brought up by deep-sea nets in 1833, and ever since, their eerie glow has inspired countless sea monster legends. Beneath the crushing darkness, the anglerfish thrives as a master of deception, perfectly adapted to a world of hunger and trickery. Coming up, the vampire squid. Despite its terrifying name, the vampire squid is more mysterious than monstrous. Discovered in 1903, its scientific name, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, literally means vampire squid from hell. It lives deeper than nearly any other cephalopod, between 600 and 900 meters, where oxygen levels are so low that almost nothing else survives. Its body glows with photophores, tiny light organs that flash like stars in the darkness. Unlike its fierce cousins, the vampire squid doesn't hunt aggressively. Instead, it survives by eating marine snow, bits of organic matter drifting down from above. When threatened, it turns itself inside out, flipping its webbed arms over its body like a cloak. The inside of this cloak bristles with spiny projections that make it appear much larger and more menacing than it is. Its eyes, the largest relative to body size of any animal on Earth, can appear blue or red depending on the light. At about 30 centimeters long, it's not large, but its survival strategy is unmatched. Scientists marvel at how it lives in oxygen levels as low as 3%, conditions that would kill most fish within minutes. So while the anglerfish rules with teeth and trickery, the vampire squid rules by endurance, thriving in places where life itself shouldn't be possible. Let's talk about the sarcastic fringehead. At first glance, the sarcastic fringehead looks like an ordinary fish, only about 30 centimeters long. But when provoked, it reveals one of the most shocking transformations in the ocean. Its mouth bursts open into a massive, rainbow-colored fan, stretching wider than its own body. This isn't just for show, it's a weapon and a warning. 2 males will often lock jaws, pressing those colorful mouths against each other in underwater wrestling matches that decide territory. They live along the Pacific coast of North America, especially near California, often hiding inside shells, cans, or bottles on the seafloor. Divers have described them as aggressive, even charging at intruders much larger than themselves. Their oversized mouths are lined with sharp teeth, and their name, sarcastic, comes from how fiercely they defend their tiny homes. Scientists have studied them since the late 1800s, fascinated by their boldness. In fact, fringeheads may help balance local ecosystems by keeping sea urchin populations in check. Despite their small size, they've earned a reputation as one of the ocean's most fearless fighters. When the deep-sea squid hides behind mystery, the fringehead proves that sometimes the scariest monster is the one guarding a rusty bottle. Up next, the barreleye fish. The barreleye fish might be the strangest of all. First described in 1939, it baffled scientists for decades. Its head is completely transparent, like a glass dome. Inside this dome sit 2 tubular green eyes, which can rotate upward to spot prey silhouetted against faint light, or forward to watch as they swim. Imagine having eyes that can swivel inside your skull like periscopes. Measuring about 15 centimeters long, barreleys live at depths of 400 to 2,500 meters. For years, specimens brought to the surface arrived with their fragile heads destroyed, leaving their appearance a mystery. It wasn't until 2009 that Monterey Bay Aquarium researchers filmed one alive, revealing the full alien look for the first time. Their diet mainly includes small drifting animals, like jellyfish and zooplankton. But scientists believe their specialized eyes evolved to track faint outlines in the gloom, giving them an almost supernatural ability to detect prey. The transparent shield on their head may even protect their eyes from the stinging tentacles of jellyfish. Where the sarcastic fringehead shocks with aggression, the barreleye amazes with design, like a secret experiment in evolution, hidden in the cold darkness for millions of years. Moving on to the stargazer fish. The stargazer fish doesn't hunt by chasing. It waits, buried in sand like a living landmine. Its flat head, camouflaged body, and eyes positioned right on top make it nearly invisible. When an unsuspecting fish swims overhead, the stargazer explodes upward with shocking speed, swallowing its prey whole in less than a second. There are over 50 species worldwide, some growing more than 55 centimeters long. They live mostly in shallow coastal waters, especially in the Atlantic and Mediterranean, where fishermen sometimes haul them up by accident. But this predator hides more than just a quick strike. It's also electric. Certain species can generate up to 50 volts of electricity, enough to stun prey or discourage attackers. Others have venomous spines tucked behind their gill covers, making them one of the few fish armed with both poison and electricity. In many cultures, stargazers became symbols of danger disguised as beauty. Fishermen in ancient Rome nicknamed them monks of the sea because their upward-staring eyes looked as if they were in prayer. Yet in reality, those eyes are watching with perfect patience, waiting for the next victim. If the barreleye reveals the ocean's fragile beauty, the stargazer reminds us how cruel survival can look beneath the waves. Here, we have the black dragonfish. Deep in waters nearly 2,000 meters down, the black dragonfish rules with an appearance straight from a nightmare. Females grow up to 40 centimeters long, covered in pitch-black scales that make them nearly invisible. Their teeth are transparent, sharper than needles, and they glow with barbed lures dangling from their chins. Males, by contrast, barely reach 5 centimeters, have no teeth, and don't even eat, living just long enough to mate before dying. This extreme difference between sexes, called sexual dimorphism, fascinated scientists when the fish was first described in the early 1900s. Its body also carries tiny photophores that emit infrared light. Most predators can't see this spectrum, but the dragonfish can, essentially hunting with a secret flashlight invisible to its prey. Dragonfish have been caught as deep as 2,000 meters, where pressure exceeds 200 times what we feel at the surface. Their larvae float near the top, almost transparent, before sinking into the abyss as they mature. One specimen from the Gulf of Mexico measured only 15 centimeters, yet carried a mouth that could open nearly half its body length. Where the stargazer ambushes from the sand, the black dragonfish prowls in open water, glowing like a phantom armed with light and teeth. From jaws that shoot forward to fish with glass heads, the ocean hides endless nightmares. Explore more secrets in our next video. Subscribe now and pick your mystery from the screen.